Here we go again. And now you're telling me that she is just a friend. Okay, greetings, Taurus, all placements. Here we go again. So I was channeling for you guys already off the bat. Someone here is, you're not meant to mend something. Something is not from a higher power. This can be like you know, falling in love with a childhood sweetheart or something and having this idea, like the idea of it. Something is, there's an ideal behind it. Something matches the ideal, but the reality of it is not the ideal. And it's funny because the reality of something else is not what people are projecting upon it. It's actually more pure, it's more genuine, it's more real than that. This is kind of like, I don't know, people, just speaking from my own personal experience, people will look at me and be like, oh, are you this? Are you that? Are you fake? Or did you blah, blah, blah? And I'm like the most natural tomboy, never had anything done, natural nails. I don't do any like Botox filler or anything like that. I color my own hair. I get highlights once a year, and then I do just toning and things on my own. I cut my own hair. Like, I'm very tomboy, frugal, country. And so the guys that come after me are so not my type because they're like, you know, fly to Miami, look pretty. And I'm like, that's not me. I want to play in mud. I want to clean crap all day in the barn and be with horses and cows and livestock and like live in the forest and frolic around. But those guys look at me and assume I'm high maintenance. So Taurus, there's something here where it's like someone is assuming something about a person and it's so far from what they actually are. And then they're choosing someone else because it seems like they fit their little cookie cutter ideal, and it's so not who they are. And it's so not a blessed connection. It's so not sent from a higher power. You were not meant to mend things. Like if you idolized something or idolized someone, like cut it out. Something here about Friends. I never got into that TV show. I'm just not a TV person in general. But I don't know, maybe something with the storyline. Rachel and Joey. I don't know. I don't even know the storyline. Like honestly, that's how much I don't know the storyline with that. But that's coming through. I'll be there for you. No, you're not. Liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire, liar, liar. I don't know. Someone here is a liar about something, clearly. Taurus, something here needs to be cleaned up, but you can't clean it up here. Also, I want to give full credit to this Astro Queen. She's one of my favorite readers, like all-time favorite readers. She's actually the only reader who consistently reads my energy. When I try and listen to other readers, literally no one says anything that pertains anything to me, which is annoying. But I'm like, okay. And I still respect a lot of the great readers, but Astro Queen always does. But anywho, she was going on a rant the other day. You know how the definition of insanity is doing the same thing every time and expecting a different result. But she was like, when someone reads cards, they do the same thing every time and they get a different result every time. And that is true in multiple arenas. You can do the same thing every time and get a different result every time. Like me with horses. You can do the exact same thing every time but get a different result every time based off of that animal's individual mood, hormones that day, the weather that day, triggers, how full their cup is, like what other people in the environment are doing. Like someone here, I don't know, there's something here about doing something all the time, doing something repeatedly. And people are like, you're insane because you're expecting a different result. But it's like, no, I'm not. I literally get a different result every single time. So it's not insanity. So the definition of insanity is not actually the definition of insanity. So Taurus, it's like someone could be asking like rhetorical questions or speaking rhetorically. Rex, T-Rex, I don't know. There's something here, maybe dinosaurs, the last dinosaur. Okay, we're back. That was kind of creepy. I don't know, something, guess who's back? No, but the we're back is almost like family, but it's also, ooh. This can also be like people who got acne as a kid and they're so glad they grew out of it and now they're going to start breaking out again. Or people who like had some certain issue, like, I don't know, you had an issue growing up and you grew out of it, but it's like it's gonna it's gonna come back again. That could also be because of the Saturn retrograde through November. So it's not gonna be nothing is permanent. That's the other thing, Taurus. Nothing is permanent. It seems like someone keeps putting a band-aid over a situation or keeps addressing something the same way. People, you're just not on the same page as another person. Someone here's just not on the same page. I think I was channeling that in Aquarius's reading. You could be dealing with an Aquarius or a Capricorn. But I don't know, there's something here where it's just like different strokes for different folks, okay, Taurus? And that is just really, really strong in your energy. There are some choices. Everybody's got choices. So Spirit is kind of, there's something that you still need to learn in a situation. But if you're wondering why me, why this, it's because you haven't yet shifted to that perspective. Like you haven't yet zoomed out to that perspective. Like, I don't know, I remember there's a guy that I was engaged to, and he cheated on me. He worked at a bar, and he cheated on me with another bartender that he worked with all the time. That was just a friend. And it's funny because we like met up and threw our rings into like the lake at our college. It was just so dramatic and stupid, honestly. But like when I think back on it, I'm like, I'm a tomboy that wants to be out in the country. Like the lifestyle that I want and that I organically operate by naturally is not one that guy would have been on board with. So, and I was like so heartbroken. I like stayed in the bathtub for like weeks after that breakup in college. That was like 12 years ago. And my roommates were like worried about me because I didn't eat. Like it was one of those. And it's like looking back in retrospect, it's like, wow, I really needed that because I was putting someone here is putting way too much in another person. Like, I'm also hearing he's just not that into you. And like, that's okay. Like, he's just not like with that situation. He's just not that into me. He's not my person and I'm not his person. So thank you. Like, thank you. Carry along and get out of my way so I can attract my person and keep being me. And you can go find your person and start being you because, you know, clearly had to fake or be different around me than around, I don't know, there's just weirdness. Like someone here can have like different sides and they feel like they need someone for this side and someone for this side. No, God has someone who fulfills both sides, that you can be both. What is the saying? Get you a girl who can do both. You know, like I saw, there's memes of that with like Britney Spears. You know, like, regardless, the point is with that is you deserve someone who loves all pieces of your pie. Not just half of the pie, not just a certain slice of the pie, and they benefit from another. Like, you deserve someone who loves you wholly, Taurus. But it does require you loving yourself wholly and you being honest with yourself. With something that you clearly haven't been that honest with yourself about because you've been trying to force something fitting a square peg in a round hole. Now this doesn't have to be a relationship. This can be a job. This can also be a home, a living space. This can also be something with like your children, like a way that you like reprimand them, or a way that you educate them, or a way that you discipline them. Like you can think that you have to do the same thing or you do the same thing every time. There's something here also with like, you can't just cookie cutter be like, when something acts this way, what do I do? It's like, well, when that one acts that way, you do this. But when that one acts that way, you do this. Because energetically, they're two different beings and they are sentient beings who have hearts and feelings and emotions and different experiences, and they have different breeding. So even if, oh no, they came from the same experience, so they're both that way. Okay, well, they're bred entirely differently. So that one's ancestors and trauma or whatever from theirs and this one's is totally different, and it's going to breed different results, different responses. Kind of like in my last collective reading, I was talking about how different natures of people require different careers and different life paths entirely. Like some people, their nature truly is to have a family, have kids, etc., etc., whereas other people's nature is to just be an inventor, just be an artist, just be an athlete. And I don't say just, but you get the gist. And I understand that there are people who do both, who do it all, but there's something here where it's like, rather than being like, oh my gosh, it's so dramatic, I thought growing up I was gonna be one to have kids. It's like, God put a different calling on your life, and you're sitting here complaining about it when the actuality of it is that there are pros and cons to both. There are pros and cons to having a family and kids and, you know, like completely living for others. That's really deeply fulfilling. And then other people, they do that for animals, or they do that for their sport, their team. They do that for their company. You know, like their team is their family, their animals are their children. That's how I feel. And so it's like there's not sadness. And when people are like,